On. And here we are. Thank you, everybody, for visiting and watching. We are back with our wonderful, wonderful interns. So let's take a round around the table. Everybody introduce themselves. And you know what? I'm going to break up the usual thing I do. Emma, you start today. Congratulations.
Thank you. It's me. I've won the lottery of getting to start today. Hello. I am Emma, actor, voice actor, do a lot of things, and I am here today on this wonderful stream to play Ariel, who uses he, they pronouns and is a glamour bard.
Wonderful. After Emma, let's go Irvi.
Hi, hello. I am Irvi. Use they them pronouns. I will be playing Mousy, little cleric for you here today. And you can find me around the internets and doing things TTRPG related.
Wonderful. Jilly, you're up next.
Hi, I'm Jilly. You can find me at Look, it's Jilly most places on the internet. Today I will be playing Andromeda, or Andy, who is a fairy order of astromancy wizard. I don't tend to use the battle part of that subclass a lot, but if you would like to find out more, it is by So Many Robots, and you can find it as part released for free, and also it will be part of their upcoming book, which I'll talk about later. Andy's pronouns are she, they, and that is me and who I am.
And last but not least, Evie.
Hello, I am Evie Story, she, they. This is Vitali, he, him, as adorable little face.
A baby.
And I play Celeste, who, also she, her, has gotten into a situation with her boss, the big boss. So, it's okay. It's all good. We're ready.
How
I can
many
hear the
times
capital S
exactly
on
did you
situation
say
there.
please to the Coyote spirit?
Sorry, what did you say, Jim?
How many times exactly did your character say please to the Coyote spirit, Faye?
Please, I know I said I'm sorry 3 times. I think I said please like at least twice. I'm in a bad way.
You're in danger.
I can't imagine what being in a bad way would feel like.
Yeah, you just lost a leg.
Not only did I lose a leg, it seems like I misplaced it. It was bitten off.
Spontaneously misplacing a leg.
Maybe I asked to clarify community borrowed. It's not important right now.
Oh God.
So, starting with this. Hi, everybody. I am Bard. I use any and all pronouns you could ever know and or try out. You can find me as a bard with many names basically everywhere, and I'm your wonderful DM tonight, and not at all sadistically about the peril of my players. Last we left off, what happened?
Inside check.
Tell us a little tale about last time.
We learned nothing about the weird rock that came through the window, except that it is vaguely necromantic. And then my leg got bitten off, and at that point, I stopped kind of absorbing information.
I'll give a recap since a good chunk of it's my fault. So we started out at Celeste's workplace, working on trying to get this excuse that she's come up with for the hashtag conveniently borrowed shenanigans figured out. And as we were getting later into the night and everybody's enjoying their smoothies, a boulder of a geode comes crashing through the windows and smashes into our desk. At which point I think I was the only one who was okay. I just kind of stepped to the side, but everyone else got hit and harmed.
Except for the
and
smoothies.
shrapneled. But the smoothies
Except
were
for the
totally fine. They
smoothies.
rolled a nat 20 on their safety, which was good. And as we were like, what the hell's happening? We saw there was a crack in this geode. The detect magic determined there was necromantic energy inside of the geode. It is incredibly like powerful from multiple like places or something. And this geode was delivered via basically a gate type spell where it was like teleported here through like it gained momentum, then teleported straight to here so that it just smashed in, and there's no way for us to have found who did it because it was magic from a distance. And as all of this was going on, Celeste was trying to do the thing to keep her ass covered the best, which is, hey, let me submit a report to everybody. Let me tell the emergency people that this shit's happening because I turned off the alarm, and let me start submitting this report. But once it became clear that this necromantic energy was alarming to her own supervisor, 5-0, who we managed to have maybe some sort of connection to through the shadows that people were casting. He was hooting at least. We were getting a hoot maybe. But considering that 5-0 seemed nervous about this necromantic energy, Celeste thought she would go check on Coyote in case this was some weird assassination attempt. And in doing so, accidentally woke up Coyote because she misread the situation and cast Detect Magic, which he was able to detect her detecting. And then he ate her memory of her friend, and she said, I'm sorry a whole bunch and please a bunch of times. And now she's deeply indebted to him. At which point, Coyote came down the stairs to everybody else as a cute little puppy. And everyone else was like, oh, it's a cute little puppy. And then when Coyote revealed themselves, certain little pixies thought they could sass the biggest, baddest person in the
Ask
space.
clarifying questions.
That's sassing.
Yes.
And lost a leg because Coyote wasn't having it and just bit it right off. At which point, then Coyote told us to go find out what was up with this necrotic energy if it was so important, but make it fun, make it interesting, make it entertaining. And so then we all went home and hid inside our beds as our phones rang. Nobody answered any of them. That's where we left off.
Wonderful. Take an inspiration point.
Yeah, I'm gonna need that.
Isn't it nice when your players are so happy to get inspiration points because they are very happy? I'm doing my job right. I'm just making all of you happy. So, as a question, you were at Coyotes in the middle of the night. Then all of this happens. What do you think? When are your characters going to sleep? Emma?
I think Ariel gets home and gets to sleep probably around maybe 2 a.m., which is not always ideal, but he has the benefit in this case of only needing to trance/sleep for 4 hours, which would be like 2 to 6-ish.
Yeah, that checks out. You get enough sleep. Irvi?
Mousy would probably also be in the honestly, it's probably the 2 to 7. She probably hit snooze this morning. But I probably did not sleep the full amount that she needed to because it must continue to go on about the day. Who needs sleep will catch up on the weekend type deal. Definitely one of the first things we did in this morning while preparing our spells was take calm emotions. Like she just woke up this morning. I was like, I don't know what we're going to be dealing with today, but I am having no fear of casting anything for the benefits of my acquaintances. She's feeling a little moral obligation. And then we'll continue to go into work at her assigned time, baggy-eyed and ready to go.
So you would say you're not getting a full long rest?
No, full, yeah, no, absolutely not. I don't role play games to get the fantasy of long rests.
That means you get another level of exhaustion.
Yeah, where to? Yeah.
Wonderful. Jilly, Eddie lost a leg last night.
Yeah, but I mean, presuming I'm stable after I lose the leg, I did get some like
Yeah, you
healing
got healed
afterwards. So
back up. You don't have your leg anymore. The
no,
coyote
but I'm
spirit
not like
ate it.
actively dying.
No, you're
I did
not.
heal you up to full for the record.
So I think what happens, I said last week that I call out of work for the morning, and I go home, and I think I do get a long rest. But I also then am trying to make an appointment to get a regenerate on my leg, which I imagine, if Dracul is much like any of my healthcare providers, will be a process.
I mean, yeah, the first thing gets rejected because, I mean, you still have your legs last time they saw you, so you probably still have it.
I file an appeal because I don't have one of my legs.
You're gonna get back to the end of the line, you know that.
Well, what's hilarious is that there's that Josh Sundquist, the comedian, who is like, he got contacted by his health insurance. He has one leg, and he got contacted by his health insurance for being severely underweight, and he was like, "Yeah, because I don't have a leg," and they were very confused by why he weighed less than he should. And they were like, "Well, can you correct it?" And he's like, I don't think that it's gonna grow back. But we live in a fantasy world where I can pay lots of money. So
If your character as a freshly paid intern has a lot of money?
well, it depends on how much it costs, right? Also, I hope I get an employee discount, but we'll see.
Okay, while you're doing the paperwork and got a long rest, so I'd say you can remove one level of exhaustion. Hey, Evie. Evie, how are
Hi.
you doing? How are you looking? What's going on?
So, ironically, Celeste slept hard. The adrenaline surge of all of this bullshit, once she got home, she went straight home. She passed straight out. She woke up maybe just a little bit, cutting it close, to get into work on time. And then when she got into work, she doesn't have a supervisor at the moment, right? Because 5-0's not here. So she's gonna go to her little office spot, close the door, and resume resting. Her supervisor's not here. She's going to like set up a little thing on the door that will make it so anybody trying to get in will have to like do it a couple of times so that it would alert her and she'll be able to like look like she's doing what she's supposed to. But otherwise, she's basically doing a take some sleep, do her watch via get to work, resume her sleep in an effort to not be so exhausted as to be unable to deal with the bullshit she got herself into.
That's smart. I love it. You know what? I love the idea so much. Let's go. When you get to work, though, you notice something. Somebody woke up the beehive. And that's not a metaphor, there's a literal beehive.
Yes!
Just flying below the ceiling. Bzzz, being quite aggressive.
I will talk to the bees and be like, I'm so sorry, whatever happened to you. It definitely sucks. I'm just going to try and empathize with the bees as I walk past them so that they don't sting me. I have a speech of beast and leaf, so I can talk to things because I'm a furbolg.
The bees sound really fucking weird.
Not like normal bees.
Not
Not like normal
bees.
FAE bees.
They have like this reverb in their voice.
Huh.
They are undead FAE bees.
Yeah, I was about to say, hang on. Okay, cool. I skirt around the bees and I leave them alone. I don't want anything to do with the bees. I'm just gonna go to my room, to my office, my little spot, close the door, set up my trap, try to get some more sleep.
Okay.
Don't fuck
yeah.
with the bees. That's one of the great rules in life.
hmm Someone else is dealing with those, not me. I'm not an intern anymore. It's not my job.
I mean, you
You're
still
minding
are,
your own
but-
business, as it were.
So, is there anything you want to do? Because if I remember correctly, it is Thursday.
Yes.
And on Friday to prime time, you're all invited to Glitz and Glam.
Didn't I say that I wasn't going until the Sunday, like, talk about? I don't remember. I'll be honest. I don't remember if I finally said I would go to the Friday thing.
I wasn't sure. I know you only signed the Sunday part of the contract, but I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
I annotated it.
Yeah, you
But if
get
my
another
friends are
version
going-
back. A lot of the annotated things are right. The 2 days you're gonna be there are still in there. And what's new is like all of you had like a bit of money. You're getting paid. Like paid. Seems like another zero slipped in.
Part of the potentially wish spell placed on all of us, I'm guessing that's what that's. I think that's the additional problem, is that even though I think at least 3 of the 4 of us managed to essentially initially talk our way around, is that we have now figured out that potentially a wish spell was placed on all of us. So we are unknowingly, but that doesn't matter, in debt. And that does sort of feel like a little bit of a contract, perhaps coming down upon our heads rather imminently.
Maybe. Maybe.
I'm going to do what I can for the rest of the day on 2 things, I think. One is that I need to finalize all of the security service stuff that I'm setting myself up as with my little cards that have an illusory script on them that'll be like provided around, begin to like be disseminated around or whatever, and starting the tiniest bit of I was working with everybody else to try and get some bots going so that we could start getting a, not like a social media landing page site, but a just like myth, a sort of like story about a person who is going around and testing security and testing boundaries and bringing into light the problems with like, why are cops leaving their keys in their car, and trying to arrange the narrative a little bit differently. And then the other thing that I want to work on, because that's prepping for like when I go do the talk on the show, because I basically am going to go do the talk on the show. The other thing being that I kind of need to find out about this necromancy magic stuff. So I think if I might be able to snag an intern a little bit see if I can't sort of coerce an intern into going and pecking up some like bits of information from different archive places and bringing it back to me while I'm also doing my other things, so that I've got like a little bit of assistance.
Are you looking for the intern, like the little brownie sprite you met before?
Yeah, I've got more leaves from them, so I think that with each request I might do a leaf exchange.
I can have my leaves?
Per request that you execute for me, you can get a leaf back. My first request that I would like you to execute for me is to find and bring to me all the various archived and current information on necromantic magic as relevant to both Fae and the other planes, and how that might be able to be contained and transported.
Do I need to bring it to you? Because that would be a whole room. That could be a bit difficult.
I've got space in here. Bring, not like all at once, bring it as you go. And then if some of it turns out to not be as useful, then I will not keep it in here. And so it won't fill the whole room.
Are you sure? You're talking about like a quarter of our archive.
I know. But I have given you parameters of what to search for within that.
Yeah, I know. You're talking about a quarter of our archive.
Well, it's the first one. We got to start somewhere. I got to start somewhere.
Well, a brownie's job is never done. Snap, he's gone. And then, like, you're pretty sure that the intern used animate object because, like, 20 minutes later, like, the first book starts dancing into like a tune played on a flute, like full on Mary Poppins.
Very amazing. I love it. Yes, I will basically multitask doing the coordinating to make sure that the stuff is going for the security service thing, and then begin to sort through these books as they're sort of arriving and do my best to pull out specifically the pieces of information that matter, and then sort of like send them back away so that they don't just stack up in here unnecessarily once I've kind of got what I need from them.
Okay, so you're doing two things at once.
Mhm.
And I'm not saying that's impossible, I'm just saying that's very fucking hard.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna ask you, which one is your priority?
Probably, well, let me ask. Are Melcy and Ariel, they got the bots going for me? Yes? So I think that that's in motion a little bit self-containable-ish. So I think that the priority will be to be looking through the books for the necromancy magic stuff.
Okay, so do you want them to give you the help action, or do you ask them to give up their own work for the day so they can make the check for you?
What are you guys doing today? Because you guys would probably be a lot better at this than me, but what are you guys doing today?
Huh. Sorry, I'm just thinking. That's a great question.
No, yeah. Mousy is probably going to try to spend the day, honestly, getting ahead in work so she can approach Mart and us to have tomorrow off.
That's
So
very nice.
that's where Mousy's at. So Mousy probably would not, but would be able to
Do the check yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think similarly, Ariel is also going into work a la a normal day, albeit with potentially doing a few things right before work. I think he would try to slip in. But yeah, I think is like at work during the day, but would offer the help action. Also would potentially, because if with the advance notice, assuming that in this instance a bardic could potentially be offered from afar, uh, because of social media, would offer one of those if that is allowed.
Okay, so you're getting a bardic and a help action. Did I hear this right? So what's gonna happen is your priority task gonna have a lower DC, and your secondary task gonna have a much higher DC.
Mhm.
So your main task was reading up on necromancy, right?
Yes.
That would be investigation, please.
Okay. That is 16.
16 is not bad. Yeah, you read up on like the laws of necromancy, like equivalent exchange of energy, why necromancy is one of the most difficult and dangerous things, because if shit goes wrong, it goes wrong fast. That it's like some people try to mix it with other kinds of magic, which can go wrong and fast, even faster and wronger. It can be held by a bunch of stuff. Also, there are beings that are just fueled by necromancy. I mean, we're talking about any kind of undead, but also like the big bad evil liches that sometimes also come to the Feywild because they want to do a secondary like lifeline in case somebody fucked with their philanthropy, that they can have like a second chance and stuff like that. On a 16, what can I give you on a 16? Yeah, it's something that's not used as often in the Feywild, since all Fays are magically, like basically wild magic spirits to some extent or other. If you die in the Feywild, after the revivify thing is over, and if you're not using like resurrection or true resurrection, shenanigans will happen. Like an archfey dying is not a thing. They just poof into energy, and the energy finds a new host or home, or just reassembles after a certain amount of time. Some people actually think, like there are some theories that this means that archfays are basically liches, and that the Feywild itself might be the phylactery of all the archfays. But this is one of the books where you keep reading, and after like 20 more pages, you're like at full-blown conspiracy theories. You're like, yeah, no. That's cute and all, but King Oberon did not leave the Feywild just to fuck with his assistants, who's then tried to take over the world through social media. And no, Titania wasn't in on the deal. Like, it's getting absurd very fast.
Okay. The part about the Archfey death, meaning that the energy would find a new host, seems like a potential new lead. But did I also find anything about different types of necromancy? Because when we did a little bit of investigation on the geode, I think I remember that there was necromancy that was specifically faewild necromancy, but then necromancy that was also not from the faewild. So like it had been harvested from multiple areas or something.
Well, every plane has like their own kind of flavor of magic. Like
Mhm.
Fey magic is always Fey magic. Magic of the Hells is always magic of the Hells, but because since the planes are connected, like you can mix and match a bit. But necromancy stays necromancy, evocation stays evocation. All kinds of magic stay the same, but you can like get a feeling from where it's from.
Okay.
I think I would like to propose that Fey magic tastes slightly fizzy. It's just like it's got bubbles.
Fey magic is basically pop rocks.
Yes.
And carbonation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
cool.
that's the reason why all the Fays are most of the times fucking gay. We cracked the code, party people. Irby does not agree with that.
I don't.
Hey.
Carbonation is a rough one, buddy.
Hey, I'm from Germany. Like 80% of everybody here drinks carbonated water just because.
I do not drink carbonated water, but I support Fae being secretly pop rocks. So that's
I was going
where
to say,
I'm at.
I'm like smack in the middle in that you said pop rocks, and I was like, yay, I love pop rocks. And then carbonated drinks, are my mortal enemy. So it's like one of these things I'm fully behind. The other,
You know what though?
I'm not.
This discourages you from eating the Fae magic, which is probably good overall.
Yeah.
Don't eat the Fae magic.
Don't eat the Fey magic. Drink it instead.
No.
Yes.
That's the.
I'm
that's
sorry,
The
I'm gonna
Don't
say it.
consume Fey magic.
I'm gonna say this out loud. Fizzy water is gross.
Correct.
Pretending like it once was in vague contact with a flavor does not make it better.
What?
It's like LaCroix, where it
right.
once
We had the
thought
LaCroix
about a
discussion
cranberry. Like, anyway.
Once it saw a strawberry or a raspberry from far away across a long distance, and that is the flavor profile.
Yeah, or
it's like when you know those drawings where you start drawing a horse and then someone else draws the other half of the horse. That's what it's like.
Beautiful. That's on that, but what you also find is that necromancy often is like a, how do I say it, subgenre without being a genre. It's like fantasy. Like fantasy and science fiction are genres, but they're not genres on their own. Like it's a fantasy action film. It's a sci-fi love story. It's like, it's a sticker you can put on something, but it doesn't really changes what that thing is. It just changes the flavor. It has kind of a corrupting nature, but it also like sometimes not corrupting as in it goes bad, but corrupting as in you can't see anything else.
Well, and also we had a conversation when when I first detected the necromantic magic. There are healing spells that are necromancy based. Like False Life is a necromancy spell. So, there's weird
False Life isn't really healing per se.
It's healing in advance.
Okay, I like that.
Vampiric Touch.
Best descriptor of that spell I've ever heard.
It is. Vampiric Touch is also necromancy because it's like, I'll just take your health and give it to me.
I'm not gonna lie. I would love for all of us just for someday make a social media post with all of our weird hashtags, because by now they're getting out of hand and I love it.
Well, conveniently borrowed healing in advance is Vampiric Touch.
That's
you're so right. You're completely right.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
By the way, Ariel,
Hello?
you still remember the hashtag siren on top, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I do.
There's fan art.
Ah, naturally. I mean, hey, I'm inspiring people to create things. That's probably a net good for the world,
I
I
would
think.
describe that fan art, but that would get us banned from Twitch.
I feel like that's I in my mind, in terms of the order of news that Ariel is getting in this day, um, like they went home and trance not slept necessarily. So in this case, the trance might have looked kind of like a stressful but still technically long rest relaxing, like staring at the ceiling for 4 hours and then snap out of that to start getting ready for work. And that's one of the first things that like he gets an update on and just kind of
Before you had your coffee.
that yes, it's before the coffee. That's sort of the nail in the coffin. In the midst of waking up, I was also going to say, I think actually the first thing that Ariel would potentially do upon waking up is try to once again message his shadow, because that is where, as far as we were getting information from, the last time that he did that, 5-0, who seemingly was in it or in all of our shadows, responded. And does that produce any effect when that happens?
What do you want to say?
Ariel wakes up and does a little sort of chord pattern on the back of his hand as he's casting messages like, hello again, Celeste's boss, whose name I still don't think I caught. Are you here?
It's 5-0.
Oh,
Some people also call me tea time.
right. Grand to meet you. And you are in my shadow?
Yes.
All right. Are you in danger?
Oh, yes.
Oh,
I should
no.
have died.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. I'm pretty
Ask
sure
for...
I did die.
Oh. Well, that does not seem like an ideal state. What
No.
perhaps caused this? Or
A
who?
lot of light.
A lot of light.
Yes.
Hmm.
Mm.
All right. There was a lot of light, and that caused you to die, ? And retreat into the shadows. All right. Um, is there anything that should be done about that you know of?
Well, if I reappear, I would die for good, probably. I don't know who did it, but they were very, very thoroughly.
All right. Um, and
But
is
I
this
still would love to get them.
that I agree with that. I can see that. That makes a lot of sense. Yes, agreed.
They
It,
ruined my tea.
oh no. Well, that's a very sad state of things. Tea should never be ruined. Um,
That's
is this
correct.
exactly? Is this information that should be perhaps passed along from me to your workplace, or is this information that should not be shared?
No.
No to the former of those, or no to the latter of those?
Whoever got me had a key.
Ha ha.
Ah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Hmm. That is the question, isn't it?
It is. Who did this?
Mhm. If I perhaps say exit this bedroom where Ariel has like drawn every curtain so as not to accidentally dispel his shadow in the process of this conversation, that's happening while he's like getting dressed. If I perhaps were to depart and go to work, is that going to dispel you or?
I'm not sure.
All right. To be fair, I did make it here last night slash early this morning without you vanishing, so I'm going to not tell your workplace about this, but tell Celeste. Unless that, well, she knows that you're in the shadows, so I'm going to pass that along. Is there anything else that you need at this time? Freely given? That I can freely give you, given that you are in my shadow? That seems unideal.
Try not to be completely surrounded by light.
All right. I will do my best at that.
Like, there are spells.
Mm-hmm.
Moonbeam, Sunray, you know. They are terrible.
They are commonly used in stage spotlights, and they're very effective for those, but less effective, I feel like, for keeping you from dying. So, yes, noted.
Good.
All right. I will. I'll speak to you again. Take care in my shadow. uh, so she gets a text from Ariel. It's just like, we should chat today, which I know I said yesterday, but revisiting that, let's get a meal today at some point. Interesting. I have further information.
Yeah, I mean, there's the period to where Celeste is sneak sleeping, but then you do get the message back of meet up at someplace after work? Question mark.
I think you said potentially we were going to go to Mousie's was something that was being floated for the sake of not being overheard. So yes, meet up somewhere.
Right, now I remember. Got it. And then in the group text, where does Malcy live?
Just in the group text. I like that wasn't directed to Mousy either. It's
No,
just
not at all.
Mousy
No,
or
but
somebody
it is.
else.
But Mousy
from
never
Mousy.
replies, so it's absolutely fair to ask generally. No, that evening, once Mousy gets home and everybody will be heading that way, she'll drop a pin. But not until she's already home. Because she's going to be cleaning unsuccessfully, but
Yeah.
trying nonetheless.
Delightful. And I think after this conversation with 5-0, Ariel at work is going to, a little bit similarly, is going to be kind of doing normal work responsibilities and also trying to do some side research, except on two kind of related things. The first of which would be if there's any like online information or social media buzz about, a massive geode flying through the air downtown, or if anything else like that happened in other places last night. And the second, perhaps more importantly, given that this is Thursday, is that Ariel wants to take a look at Glitz and Glam's social platforms and networking. Like what do their Friday shows that we are perhaps being gently dragged into seeing by them. What do those look like? What is their format?
Well, thank God somebody finally used Google.
There's one thing Ariel can do. It's to use so many search engines. There's like 18 tabs open. It's a mess.
The thing is, Glitz and Glam hosts a lot of channels, but like the main channel is actually Wonder of the Night, and is a 24-hour talk show going on and on and on and on. It never stops.
Whew. Mm-hmm.
And Friday evening are either like, let's invite some celebrities and they talk about what their life is like the newcomer, one-hit wonder, 15 minutes of fame talk, or it's like social media phenomenons. Like the Friday evening thing is like it's the spot where people, it's a bit and it's also like the spot where people start watching TV when they don't have friends to go out with, so they watch like a bit of a social to make themselves feel better.
Got it. And there, I assume, have a like robust accounts across all of the different platforms.
Absolutely.
Everything, like we're now doing this, going live with XYZ is put everywhere very assiduously. They're very up to date
You
on
can
that.
watch everything from the last 50 years, which is not a lot by FAE things, as a stream online, cataloged all over the place by theme. There are also game nights. Like, imagine you have had like Who's Gonna Be Millionaire and all the late night talk shows and like every piece of television our moms would have watched with us.
Mm-hmm. And do I know, or is it publicly available knowledge, who, singular or plural, runs their social media?
I mean, you know how this works. A lot of people on social media use fake names as their social media persona if they're working for a company.
Mm-hmm.
And the people who are doing it for Glitz and Glams are two people calling themselves Glitz and Glam.
Got it. So it's not a publicly easy thing to track down. Makes sense. Got it. And then in addition to that, is there anything on social media channels about a massive geode flying through downtown and hitting Coyote communications? Because if there is, that makes sense. And if there's nothing at all, that's also kind of weird.
There is something like youth delinquents vandalizing Coyote communications.
Okay. So a normal amount of it got noticed, but not overblown, which is
it could be a bit played down.
Yeah, a little bit played down. Okay, that's even more interesting based on what I have now learned from 5.0. Okay. Ariel is many cups of coffee deep by the time that this information has been learned. He got enough sleep. This is just now genuine stress.
Wonderful. By the way, roll a d20 for me.
Oh, absolutely.
No, wait. Constitution saving throw.
Oh, no. Me checking what I have to a Constitution saving throw. That's a nat 1.
You now have a severe caffeine addiction.
Honestly, yeah, makes sense. Makes perfect sense.
Like, this is the first episode you're talking about drinking coffee and energy. You need this thing now to function. Not just to be awake, like to function. Without it, you're just like a zombie. So what that means is if you don't have had caffeine, you have disadvantage on everything.
As is the way of the world with coffee.
I mean, there are other things you could take to like top it off. Like caffeine makes you function, it doesn't make you awake anymore.
Let's not get into the Saved by the Bell episode here. Oh,
That's American media. It might not translate.
The deep lore. Are you familiar with Saved by the Bell? We can talk about this later.
Yeah,
Teen
this
TV
might not
show
translate.
tried to do. Teen TV show in the 90s tried to do a "Don't Take Drugs, Kids" episode, but they couldn't use real drugs, so it was caffeine pills. So one of the characters gets addicted to caffeine pills. It's a whole thing. I'm gonna find the clip. Keep going.
Okay. We're gonna look at this later. No. I mean,
but yes, aside from many a cup of coffee, pixie dust.
Yeah, you know how to get pixie dust at Pixie Dust.
Fair enough. Yeah, aside from the many cups of coffee and the perhaps now like caffeine style slight buzz of nerves, I do have that information, and we'll hopefully see everyone else later today.
Wonderful. Andy, you get back the next appeal from your health insurance. Now they're trying to actually, like, they looked into your file, and because you have had like fast food once in the last half a year, they say, yeah, it was your fault because you ruined your arteries.
I file a secondary appeal showing that the arteries have no relationship to me getting my leg bitten off.
I mean, you can't really show that anymore because the arteries have been bitten off.
I would like to file an appeal.
Okay.
I work in this system. I know the appeals process.
You basically, by the way, you see who's writing you back. It's your colleague.
Yeah.
Who's probably gonna take all of your tickets for the day.
I put a note at the bottom and I say, "Listen, Barbara." And it just says, that's it. That's the note. "Listen, Barbara." Period.
Wonderful. Anything else you're doing while you're doing waging the paper of war?
Here's the thing. I would like to say that there is something incredibly interesting, but I think this is Andy's entire day. Is like she's just sitting there on her computer, which is miniature, lest we forget. And is like sitting in her apartment hammock. That is true. A great point was made that if Barbara approves my treatment, then I will be able to get back to work and potentially take some of her workload back. But I'm just going to keep fighting the good fight and complaining in the group chat about how complicated this process is. I just need a druid friend is really the problem. We need to make friends with a druid.
You get the next back from Barbara that she totally understands that your leg being bitten off is an inconvenience, but still, it may have been to your own accord, like maybe you asked for it consensually, or it was to settle a debt, because FAE insurances do not regenerate body parts that have been given away to settle a debt. So if you give away a kidney, you give away a kidney. And on the top lower, like in the notes, it's like, Annie, come on, you know I've got to write you at least 5 times.
Fine, and then so I write back, but it's like every word, because my belief is that the longer the message, the more Barbara can write back, and the better that looks good for her. So mine is like run through a thesaurus. Subsequent to our previous communication, I have concluded that the injury sustained, and then it just goes on like that. And so I continue this.
So you're basically writing a
meanwhile-
white woman email.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I'm updating the group chat on this whole process, and I'm talking about Barbara, and how she always uses the last of the creamer in the break room and never orders anymore. And it's very, yeah. So the group is getting the update.
Oh, the tea is getting spilled and it's not by 50.
It's true. It's like, I don't know if anyone else has experienced this, but when your friend has a day off and you don't, and they're just like narrating their life to you, that's what's happening in the group chat right now.
You reopen your phone to here are 10 subsequent texts about related and unrelated matters that have happened to me in the past 8 hours.
Great.
Like when
Mousy
you're
doesn't
talking into a
respond to a
group
single
chat
one.
and nobody is really answering, but nobody really cares, but everybody is reading.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all know that.
Especially if during the workday, where it's even when it's like, I know my friends will listen to this eventually, but they are in that currently they're in the like 8 to 10 hour period where they can only read and not feasibly respond. So you have like, everybody's read this message, nobody's done anything about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Every once in a while, you get an emoji from me, just very random, doesn't make sense. There's a car emoji on one of your like randoms about the creamer, just a car, just a sports car emoji. Don't know why. It's just there.
So Andy, you get back another, like, the thesaurus trick. The mail is like you have a very tiny phone and a very tiny laptop. And you scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll. And oh, she's using the paragraphs. Like Barbara's doing it. And she's not even using the pre-written macros anymore. Barb.
I'm very impressed.
At this point in time, it's basically flirting.
Yeah. Go Barbara.
Go Barbara. And yeah, basically, she asked for proof that you did not use your leg to your own fault, that it was an accident, blah, 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 blah. You know what you're gonna write back. It goes back and forth a while. And after like 5 hours, where you're pretty sure she didn't do anything else but to answer to your tickets, you get the the macro for like, sadly we cannot help you at this point in time, but the text is the wrong text. It's the text from the macro of, after reconsidering, your ticket has been approved. And you're pretty
Okay.
and below the message there's a tiny bit of white space.
I click on the white space.
It's like on the white background of the mail, in white font, it's just a wink smiley.
Okay. Yay! I won paperwork.
And I just run like 10 minutes of paperwork in D&D. Yay!
Yeah, this is truly.
This is what we spend our free time
this is
with,
what
right?
the system is. This is what the system is for. That's what D&D
Yes.
is built for, right? Have I
Yeah,
misunderstood?
D&D is for paperwork and social media and texting your friends. Right?
We are using it to its intended purpose.
Yes.
Oh my god, we're basically playing text. What was it? What was like the human equivalent of Dungeons and Dragons?
Oh, it was office man. It was something office managers, right? It
Yeah.
was. I remember that.
Office and
I don't-
housewives or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, great. That being said, you actually get like a spot still today to get your leg back.
Sorry, say that one more time.
You get your leg back today. It's gonna be in the
Oh,
evening
great.
and on the other side of town, but gonna get it
That's
back.
fine.
Yeah, same day service. That happens if you work at the health insurance.
Yes, I have the advantage. Because also, I had the advantage of a full day to argue with them, which is really the issue. Like me, for example, myself in real life will be on the phone for an hour and a half later trying to organize a thing that isn't even that big a deal, but will take an hour and a half to organize.
Wonderful.
I like the idea, Mousy. Do you text about like learning that spell later, or are you just dead silent on the group chat?
Oh no, Mousy absolutely says nothing in the group chat until
Okay.
she pins her apartment. She might throw in a couple little reactions here and there that are similarly to Celeste, where they're just random emojis that definitely mean something to Mousy, but or at least she thinks they mean something to her.
But the rest
But
of us
no.
cannot decipher the thought.
No,
the thought
absolutely
process.
not. Yeah, no. Mousy probably has one actual text message she has ever sent in this group chat.
I hope it's something random. I hope it's like the word falafels at some point.
I mean, it's probably a text that she didn't mean to send to the group chat and was meaning to send to a roommate, so it's probably like milk, eggs, and a stick of butter.
Damn it, that reminds me I forgot to get butter.
True story. I went to the grocery store to get butter, and they were out of it, so I had to go to a
Oh, no.
secondary grocery store. Outrageous.
And we know you can never go to a secondary location.
Exactly.
Yes, as the wisdom tells us.
As the prophecy foretold. But while we're talking about you, Melcy, what you gonna do today?
Get ahead as far as human as halfling possible. To get ahead on work, to then write this whole report for Mark to please let me have tomorrow off work.
Okay.
She's aware it's not following any of the proper channels, but like Mousy shows up to work on time all the time, and she's written like it's this literally just like, please, I'm a good girl.
Wait, are you going to your boss with the
not literally.
with literally saying, please, I'm a good girl?
Not literally, but that is like the summation of it. Of here are all my like good time in clocks, like all of the lunch break, getting ahead of the work. Here's the whole like rainbow dog spiel, just. Yeah.
Okay, let's start with
actively, voluntarily getting in debt with her supervisor for tomorrow off. Yes.
Let's start with work. Your admin panel is full again, and you go through social media. The hamster thing really took off. There are still a few cats that are getting conveniently borrowed. But roll performance for me.
Before Mousy walks into this room, she would like to cast a spell on herself, which is going to be borrowed knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, she probably wouldn't have taken performance. She would have taken something charisma related. Probably I'm already proficient persuasion. Hold on.
You can also do persuasion. You're just gonna get different informations.
Well, I'm trying to I'm trying to make myself useful with my own magics for once. Just kidding. Maybe we'll hold on to that. No, we'll performance. I have disadvantage on everything today, no matter what. It's a 7.
That's a 7.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. You don't get as much done as you wanted to because your admin panel glitches out and you don't know what's going on. Then after a while, you get the idea, hey, maybe I just refreshed the page and you have to put in your password again and then it works again. And the rainbow dog thing worked well. So well that, the thing at La Llorona is we help you and you shut up.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like that specific client didn't shut up, and now there are like 15 other idiots with rainbow pets standing at your doorstep because they also want the free publicity and the help.
Lovely. Sounds about right, though. Obviously, we have to come up with a different way to get out of it than last time because we can't rinse and repeat. Although, could we literally just rinse and repeat the dogs?
Rinse and repeat it.
I mean, like, obviously not the rollout that's going to be on social media, but like for the sake of these dogs,
Send them to a salon.
send them to a salon. There we go. That's the whole spiel. Then we're gonna find a salon that needs some publicity. I'm sure there's a salon that needs some publicity out there. That a certain buddy of mine, I can get the bots rolling in here. Might have checked out at some point in time. They've got a good security background, so no data is going to get out. We're going to loop everything back together somehow.
Yeah. So you rinse and repeat the dog. Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
You go to Mark, and Mark, the thing is, undead should be unable to sleep. Mark is hanging upside down from the ceiling like a bat, which is how Mark is always working, but he's asleep.
Okay. Well, that's different.
Like, you can't put undead to sleep with magic.
Magic, right. So he's like legitimately just... I'd like to bring him a coffee before we do any sort of waking up. Like, we're going to have a coffee prepared for... I'm an intern still. Like, this is legitimately my job.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we'll just... Mark? Hi.
Takes the cup. It's like one with a lid on top, right?
Of course.
Takes the cup, puts a thumb on the lid, and turns it upside down.
We got a little, flavoring in there, little blood flavoring for him specifically. Like, we got this,
You haven't seen anything?
Never.
Good.
Are you okay? I don't think I've ever seen you yawn before. You have beautiful teeth.
That's not true. You have seen me yawn a lot.
Oh, well. Not freshly awakened.
Yeah, and you were pretty tired too.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. It seems like we could both use a day off.
I can't. The mistress is still missing and not answering and spending time with her kids, but her kids are dead. And that doesn't make any sense. And now I have to run circles to keep everything running.
Did you say she was missing?
Well, she's not answering, and we tried to get to her, and she was gone.
Like she's not in her office or at her abode, or and she's not at like a body of water?
Not even at the street she likes to haunt when she's really desperate.
And she didn't go to like any rock concerts or anything recently, right? Or check out any geological abodes, maybe.
A rock concert?
It just curious. It's not super important.
No. But our data, like she uses a lot of mobile data.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had to send her a new code, and that's all I've ever get from her. And she's not answering my questions. And like our plans are pretty good. Like you know them, and it's as if she's streaming 24/7. I don't know what's going on.
So you shared a code. Don't those things usually say not to share the codes?
No, but like she needed more data. Like we all have like this business plan we're on, where you get like I don't know, like 20 gigabytes. It's so much. I never use it. And she like wanted another one again and again.
But so she used all of her data and then was asking for more data from you.
Yeah, so we like a new code she could put into so we can yeah.
But you haven't seen her in several days, and she asked for this information over text.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That seems perfectly safe.
But it's like her email.
I'm sorry, I already missed that.
But it was her email, and like
but still over like text and not like a physical. We haven't physically seen or heard from her.
No.
Okay, that's not troubling.
And I
have we tried to like track any like IP addresses or anything from where her emails are being sent? Are we magically trying to do any traces?
we all have to use a VPN, and we're talking about an archfey here.
I've been just hoping, you know.
I tried.
So what it sounds like is that you need to take tomorrow off to go searching.
I can't. If I go away, everything falls apart.
Well, I could go searching.
You can't. You have that meeting with Glitz and Glam tomorrow.
Well, I mean, I can search before that.
Yeah, sure. If you think you're lucky. I mean, we have a bunch of rainbow dogs and people doing the hamster dance.
I've been pretty lucky.
Huh?
I would say we've been pretty lucky. We could get lucky.
If you're up to it.
Okay.
The problem is that some of our higher clients just want to be served by her, and now there's like people from a higher, like here, like she's not only doing like the thing with the reputation, but she's also like doing counseling and stuff.
Oh yes, yes. The counseling and the care is definitely a big priority. I get that.
Yeah, I know.
That's why I was here anyways.
What?
Well, that's why I wanted to intern for this firm anyways, was the counseling and the care portion more so than the rainbow dogs.
And
but maybe we could use those rainbow dogs to sniff out. I'll get to thinking on it.
You want to use the rainbow dogs to sniff out the crying woman?
Yes.
When I say it out loud, it actually makes sense.
It does, right? They can, the emotional support element. Maybe we'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. We won't figure it out. You handle what you need to handle here.
Mm-hmm.
And I tomorrow won't be here.
Yeah, you look for the weeping woman and go to Glitz and Glam.
Exactly.
I will keep this all running. By the way, if you meet the Wonder of the Night, please, we got the thing covered. We're just looking for La Llorona.
We've got the thing covered. We're just looking for La Llorona.
Yeah.
If I meet the Wanderer of the Night.
Yeah.
I'm going to hope not to.
I mean, you're going on his show, aren't you?
Yeah! I didn't know. Okay. If it doesn't... Yeah. We've got the thing covered. And by the Showtime, I'll have definitely found La Llorona, so we won't have to worry about that part.
Mm-hmm.
That's the goal. That's the goal. You get some good rest, okay?
Huh?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'll see you Monday.
Mm-hmm. Wait, I heard you're gonna rinse and repeat a dog?
Maybe after we use them to find...
Are you gonna repeat a dog?
Well, there's multiple rainbows, so we're gonna...
There are multiple rainbows. I only know the one.
It's a double rainbow in the sky.
There are double rainbows.
You don't need to worry about it, though. I don't worry about it. Just worry about here, and I'll worry about the rainbows.
Elsie.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how a rainbow is made?
After the sky cries.
Yeah, but do you know what you need for a rainbow?
Light.
What kind of light?
Daylight.
Mm-hmm.
Sunlight.
And now tell me again what I am.
Yeah, things you don't have to worry about. 'Cause I got it.
Yeah, you got the rainbow and the dogs and
Mm-hmm.
the rinse and repeat, and I got a reputation from this going down the drain.
It's not going to go down the drain. We're going because we don't allow reputations to go down the drain here. So it's not going to be a problem. We're gonna save the day, and by we I mean me.
Mm. Yes? Okay. Yeah.
You just deal with what you need to deal with here and tonight, and you've got the things covered.
I've got the things covered.
You've got the thing covered.
I've got the thing covered.
You've got the thing covered. The Wanderer of the Night, you've got the thing covered. I don't know what the thing is, but you've got it covered. And you can just take a little nap and know that Mousie's got the rest covered.
Okay. And he like stretches out one of his hands and is like, very good one.
I try.
Yeah.
And then it's just a little pat back. And a slow, literally at half speed because we are exhausted, back out of the room.
Wonderful. And that's all we're gonna do before our small little break. So everybody out there, get something nice to hydrate. Get a little snack. We will be back in 10 minutes, 15 minutes. What you say? Okay, in 15 minutes. And stay tuned because as soon as we're back, it's showtime. And we're back, everybody. And thank you, dear NinjaBot subtitle generator, to picking up everything I said. Let's be thankful at this moment of time that it only picks up the last few sentences. So, Andy, you're getting your leg back. Ariel, you're getting more followers and some fun stuff. Who wanted to do the bots again? Okay, that's gonna be your second role.
Yes, I have help on this one, and I have bardic inspiration. I'm going to give myself guidance. Your bardic inspiration is a d6?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So roll. All right. 18 plus 3 is 21. I got a 6. Plus 6 is 27. What is this? What is this stat? What stat am I rolling?
For bots performance.
Performance. Okay. Oh, what did I just say? Plus 4. Okay. So that's 10, 28 plus 3. Oh, I got 32. 31.
Oh my
31.
god.
Well, suck my dick and call it breakfast. Yeah, you get it.
We stacked the fuck out of this dice.
Just out of curiosity, what did you roll?
I rolled a 3 on one of the dice and an 18 on the other one.
Oh,
So that helped.
You're rolling flat.
Why am I rolling flat? I had a long rest, you said.
Oh. You did have a long rest?
Because I went in and I slept. I sneak slept.
Right.
I did sneak sleep.
And you were at 1 level of exhaustion, right?
So a sneak sleep should have removed it?
Okay, yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Same.
Just making sure. I'm not trying to cheat, I promise.
No.
Mousy is the only one with 2 levels of exhaustion right now.
I barely managed to avoid it.
Yeah, you slid by. Like, you're feeling like your exhaustion like kicking in, but like this tiny bit of sleep. Like probably you also dosed some on the subway, and like you've been sneaking minutes of sleep and here and there and everywhere. It pays off.
Get those micro naps in.
Let me ask you that question. Do you remember the phenomenon of cicada 4431?
No? What are you talking about?
Your bots, in combination with some smart use of AI, your knowledge of the internet, and to be honest, what you just learned about necromancy being another genre, your bots aren't just like, oh, have you heard? Your bots like make an internet riddle. Let me look up the word because my English isn't Englishing.
Yes, they create like a urban legend.
Scavenger hunt.
Oh, a scavenger hunt. That's even better. I love that.
By the way, just for all of you and the beautiful watchers at home, the German word for scavenger hunt is Schnitzeljagd, which means, like, you know what a schnitzel is?
Food, right?
Yeah, hunting for a schnitzel.
Oh.
So yeah,
needs to hunt a schnitzel.
You got the 31. You've got the scavenger hunt of the year going on. Like people are trying to edit Wikipedia to get to the former editions and to look up if there is one discolored pixel in one of the pictures. And hashtag conveniently borrowed goes off the charts. Like, it's going so fucking crazy. By now it's everywhere. And you know, Glitz and Glam asked for you first.
Mm-hmm.
But like, you're doing this thing, and after like 2 or 3 hours, other firms are asking too.
I think that like as we're getting into like the we're past lunch now and getting into the second half of the day and like the phone starts ringing, that also reminds Celeste that, hey, I got a call last night. What was that? So like I send to voicemail the person coming in. I don't even know who they are. I just send them to voicemail. And then I go and I scroll back for like the 2 a.m. phone call I got that I remember peeking at out of my pillow fort that I wasn't going to move from. And I check it out. Who called me last night?
Private number. You don't know.
I'm going to get onto the message group chat and be like, any of you real cool kids? Then I immediately delete that. Like that accidentally gets sent and then I delete it. I recall it. Hey, any of you know how to do a private number search?
I feel like I would have likely, if not done that before, I feel like Ariel would at least know how to potentially, in terms of, can I investigate and or see either check on that number or check if I know how to check that number,
Yeah.
for lack of a better term?
You unhelpfully get a screenshot of my phone that says private number 2:05 a.m. or whatever.
What would I roll for that?
Investigation. You said it yourself.
Delightful.
You want to investigate.
Let's see. That is a 15.
Like you have an idea, but not really, no.
I'll also check and see if the call that I got that I ignored around 2 in the morning last night is the
Private
same number, or is it the same number, or
No,
does it just show private
says
number?
private number. There is no number.
Okay, got it. All right, well, that's something. Yeah, Ariel sends back the like, was not able to find anything, but I got the same call potentially.
Isn't star 64 a thing?
It's Stardust 64. It's a
Okay.
it's a FAE service.
Yes. How do I use Stardust 64?
Wait, hang on. This is an American thing. We may need to translate.
Oh,
So
Cultural translation,
Star-
please.
Star 64 used to be a thing on landlines where you could kind of like redial the number that called you.
like do a dial back.
Dial, yeah.
Yeah, I believe that it like specifically in the instance where, because landlines wouldn't like necessarily show you who just called.
Yeah. People used to use it with payphones to do a dial into a payphone and then drop it, and then you do a star 64 to dial back.
Oh. I just thought it was a program, but no, you just press this actual
Yes.
star.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
literally just Star 64, yeah.
I mean, do you want to try?
Celeste is like, how can I Stardust 64 this if I've gotten lots of other phone calls since then? People keep blowing up my phone.
You just need, this is not real. You just need to up the number from 64. It's like leveled spells.
Celeste knows no magic, so you have to walk her through this.
I have to walk her through math.
Are the next 20 messages in the group chat just to like, when you're trying to explain a technical process to somebody over text specifically?
Don't
so
press
it's a lot of...
no, don't press that. Wait a second, and then there's 5 more messages. Like, look to the left. You see yeah.
Okay, I love that idea. Just give me a luck check.
Okay, just a
Because I'm not
D20.
sure if that would work. So let's find out together.
I rolled a 16.
You sadly are only able to call back the number that called you
original.
last, which was an
Yeah.
agency wanted to talk to you. If I remember correctly, Ariel got an invitation from Trauco, right?
Yes, and has not yet responded to that, but yes, did get that invitation.
Wonderful.
Or like an email asking to connect talent agency wise.
Which is wonderful.
Mhm.
Since the next thing, I would love with all of you to experience. Is there anything fast people want to do on Friday?
Well, no, I want to get my leg fixed, and then I need to readjust my flight pattern to reflect that I have 2 legs again.
And I will say on Thursday we were planning potentially to meet, if I recall correctly, given that we've all learned a couple different things since our time at Coyote Communications.
Okay, this is just a quick talk. Meet as the DM talking to you. I was planning on Showtime tonight. I feel like we gotta postpone it till next time because there's a lot of
Fine.
planning to do. Is that all right with everybody?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, great. Then I'm gonna have to come up with another episode name, something with the. But I'm sure I
Showtime
can
Part
do this.
2.
I'm a professional.
Yeah. We'll do part 1, part 2.
Part
It's
1,
fine.
Part 2. Yeah.
Also, this is Showtime. This is pre-show. This is show preparatory.
The pre-show.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, beautiful. So Thursday evening, you meet at Malcy's.
Correct.
You open the door. There's a halfling behind that. It's not Malcy.
Do all 3 of us show up like together?
Do I have my leg back?
Yep, these are the important questions. Sorry, that was not a laugh of the leg. That was a yes, this is the important question.
Yeah, you have your leg back.
Okay.
Ariel definitely waits for the other 2 of you before going into this.
Yeah, I think that Celeste would also want to wait before going inside because having to like redo introductions multiple times seems annoying.
May I ask where, like, building wise, are we like where specifically is Malcy's apartment located plus roommates? Are we like on the 25th floor somewhere or?
Oh, absolutely. Like it is not a convenient apartment by any means. But it's a big enough apartment that everybody can kind of fit in there, and it's rate controlled, and really that's the big thing.
May I offer some flavoring?
I love flavor.
To make it even more nightmarish, it's one of these apartments which is basically just a merry-go-round of rooms. Like every room is a walkthrough room because you have like 2 entry doors, and yes, one of the walkthrough rooms is the bathroom.
A friend of mine lived in an apartment in the lower east side of Manhattan like this, and it was the funniest apartment. Like,
Yeah, I know. Right now, I'm putting things into one of those apartments.
My mind also like autofilled the like different apartments in New York that are could not be closer to the train tracks or other forms of loud transportation unless they were literally in the middle, and maybe they are, we don't know.
Like literally the scene from Blues Brothers, like talking, everybody goes silent, none of you know why, and then you hear and then the conversation just picks up as if nothing ever happened.
Correct.
Yeah, you get into that apartment. lot of rooms. Like you walk through like basically 4 rooms until you get to Melcy's room. One of them is in really bad shape because somebody like it's all fine that you're a druid. We understand that. We support you. We understand and support you that you're into insects right now. But maybe, just maybe, the ant farm should be not on the ground. Anywhere but on the ground.
Yeah, that's where you guys would find Mousy, is laying on her floor trying to actually talk to the ants. Because that is her new fun skills that that is a thing she can kind of do now, is as an animal handler, is just going to bond with these ants and be like, for the love of all of my gods, don't come in here. Just don't do it. Thank you. I have friends coming over. You just stay there.
What the fuck? One of the ants just throws a bunch of confetti. Obviously, you're talking not to an ant. You're talking to a roommate who shapeshifted into an ant.
Oh my god!
Thank you.
The wonders of
final. I'm so sorry to continue to belabor the bit, but I do have to ask: is it regular-sized confetti coming from this ant, or is it ant-sized confetti?
No, it is regular-sized confetti, prejudicitated out of the itsy bitsy ant.
Beautiful.
Thank you for clarifying. That question would have haunted me otherwise.
Yeah, it's important game mechanic wise.
Yep.
Like this,
we have to really,
for solving the mystery.
We have to always make sure that these things are really just clear up front for plot, and character. And...
Otherwise, who knows where confetti would come from? I mean, we would have had to.
I mean, they are ants, so they can carry like a ridiculous amount of like weight. So each individual in the colony could have had a piece of confetti that they brought over, and just
they all just throw up. It's
a flash mob.
Dreamwork makes dream work.
Ooh. I think, assuming that we get to watch like the end portion of this a little bit as we're coming in, Ariel's just kind of staring at Mousy with deep. It's not concern necessarily, but he just kind of has stage whispers at some point. Just, is this a common occurrence in your apartment, or?
She'll get up and looks over at everyone and goes, I mean, sometimes it's cicadas, so this is much quieter. When we went through a rabbit phase, yeah, I'll take this. I'll take this.
You really have to be careful if a druid goes into like a spore phase. You really have to be careful what kind of spores they bring into the home.
At that point, they can have my room.
That's the line.
That's the line. I'm not doing mold in here.
That feels reasonable.
It's disrespectful at that point. It's a health and safety concern, and I have to draw the line.
Mm-hmm.
Celeste is bent over. She's had to bend over this whole time. I imagine this is not a tall person place. So she just gets down on her hands and knees to like a couple of other stray ants, and using her beast speech thing for being a furball, talks to them and goes, "Hey, do you see how big I am? I'm so much bigger than any of these other people you've interacted with. Do you see how small you are compared to me? When I'm standing back up, I can't tell you're there. You will get squished." And then just walks away. And goes and sits down somewhere. Just an intimidation on the ants to make them stay out of the room for a minute.
Why is that the most terrifying thing?
I want
oh
you
my God.
roll intimidation.
So
with advantage because that was actually terrifying. It felt like a god talking to a mortal.
I'm very intrigued
On
by
the
this
ants.
because my experience with ants is that they have a self-preservation instinct. So I'm very into this.
23.
A colony of ants spontaneously just develops self-preservation in this moment.
Bye.
Nelsie? You need a second to realize what's going on. But it seems like your druid friend taught those ants like battle strategy, and they're doing like an ordered retreat. Like the ants that are going all over the place are going like into neat little squares, and they're going like back under the carpet and into the niches. And oh my god, there's a hole in the wall.
Oh, we're just gonna move a piece of furniture in front of said hole in the wall, because if we don't see it, it's not a problem.
So true.
And we're going to just leave a little like sticky note to self to have a conversation about what we are teaching animals. And if they can help me out, we're just write conveniently borrowed on said sticky note as well. Ants and cat. We're gonna figure out how to pin those together at some point. Not now.
The group gets into your room. Melty, what does your room look like?
Very minimalist. Like there is a probably next to no decorations at all, with the exception of maybe a bookshelf with various religious texts on it, as well as maybe a romance novel or two for the lulz. One random house plant, definitely like an air plant, snake plant type deal, something she doesn't have to take care of, but makes it feel aesthetic. A bed, a nightstand with a little lamp, no alarm clock, because she still hasn't been able to go to the store to get one. She wants a physical alarm clock, not just the phone. And then a vanity. And then the vanity is probably the nicest and most exorbitant thing in the room, because Mousy sits in front of it for an hour and a half before she leaves for work every day.
So
it's also her desk.
Room of somebody who opened Pinterest once in the first week, got a nice thing, and then realized that everything else is going to cost way too much money.
Yeah. But also, like, we don't need everything else, because let's be real, we aren't home enough to need a ton of stuff in here.
As a student in Berlin, that hits home.
So,
I mean, it hits not quite home, but yeah.
Yeah, it's just a resting spot. So seating is literally going to be some pillows on the floor. Sorry, Celeste, for the long way down.
It's fine. I was already on the floor when I was intimidating the ants, so I just kind of shift my weight
can
over
just
to the
roll
other
over.
side and just flop.
Ariel
Just as
has
a question,
continued
Ivy,
to.
was intimidating insects on your agenda today?
It should always be on the agenda. Constantly.
You have to be ready to adapt.
Just like ants.
Just like ants.
Ariel is continually, not in a like trying to hide something way, but the entire way up the stairs as well has been doing the very like awkward walk of trying to stay out of major light sources, and so is in whatever corner of the room is worst lit, just kind of standing awkwardly.
Probably as far away from the vanity as possible. I feel like that and the lamp on the like nightstand would be the light sources of the room.
Mm-hmm.
We can close a blind.
Yeah.
I think with permission, Andy will sit on the vanity, like the edge of the vanity, or maybe like the back of the chair that is at the vanity, to be like a little more elevated, so she doesn't have
Show
to
off the
hover.
leg.
Yeah, my leg. I think it. I think it still looks a little bit like shiny and new. Like there's something very weird about it. Like it
I was gonna
doesn't.
ask. It
Freshly
looks like
waxed.
it's been freshly waxed and like it doesn't have any cellulite yet, and it's just like
Mhm.
really, really a little bit like extra good looking.
Got
Looks
that
a little
Barbie doll
airbrushed.
plastic vibe. Yeah.
It's also, I think, probably for like I think it has the same muscle density, but is probably like I'm getting too far into the. I'm thinking about this too much, but I feel like I have really strong calves because of all my dancing, right? And I feel like I wonder if the calf is like very slightly lopsided because it doesn't have the same
It
like
doesn't have the
workout.
turnout.
That would be really annoying.
Yeah, like you have the right leg and you have like the mirrored muscles, but like, do you also have like the ballerina calf? Like, if you're stretching it, it's like super pretty and long. If you're just walking, it's like nothing. Whoop.
Yeah, I have ballerina calves. Yeah.
Yeah. You have one ballerina calf and one normal leg.
Yeah, great.
Health insurance.
Gonna make
Woo.
buying boots a nightmare. I
Yes.
know, because it does.
Are we all doing well? Post whatever that was. Last night, this morning? I don't know.
I don't know
Time
what
is
it
bad.
was, but I found a bunch of info, and I don't know
Oh,
what to do about it. But I found some stuff, and maybe it's
is
bad.
I was going to ask, is it good info or is it concerning
I don't
info
know.
or?
I mean, so there was necromancy from the Feywild in there, but that was necromancy from other places. But it's all still necromancy. It's weird that they got necromancy from several sources, and I haven't been able to quite understand why that would matter. But there has to be some sort of equivalent exchange. And so, that was a lot of necromancy. I don't know what the exchange was that they did for it. But if it was actually aimed at Coyote, like I was worried about, then this individual. Oh no, wait. Oh
Didn't
no,
your
wait.
boss disappear?
Wait. Wait. Wait.
Oh,
Okay,
wait.
so the thing that I read says that Archfey cannot be fully killed. If an Archfey is killed, so like if you throw a necromancy bomb at an Archfey, maybe that kills it. But if it killed the Archfey wouldn't stay dead. The energy of the Archfey would find a new vessel and be reborn. When I went up to Coyote's room, Coyote was a little puppy baby sitting on the bed. Maybe Coyote already got killed and is already reborn as a new Coyote baby.
As a cute little puppy.
He was adorable.
Why would they ask you to investigate if that were the case? I guess maybe they want to know who did it.
Well, maybe it didn't go the way the person wanted. Maybe I've read too many conspiracy pages in the conspiracy section of the other book, but maybe.
Forgive me, didn't your boss disappear? Like fully?
Me?
Yeah.
No, that's just what he can do. Wait, which boss? Coyote?
No, the other one.
5-0? 5-0, like, I don't know where 5-0 went, and then 5-0 was in the shadows, and then there was some hooting, and the necromancy magic seemed to maybe be something that scared 5-0, so that's why I thought maybe it was also scary for Coyote, and it was an assassination attempt, and so I ran upstairs. I don't know. I haven't been able to figure out how to get in touch with 5-0.
On the front of your boss and
Which
Ariel,
boss?
The one that's missing. I think I've finally figured out the names. You seem to have quite a
Okay.
lot of bosses. Maybe
5-0
this
is
is
the one that
just
hoots in the shadow.
yes, seems to be hooting from my shadow still, which is a little bit terrifying. But and Ariel recounts sort of the conversation from this morning, with particularly the fact that 5-0 seems to still be present in my shadow a little bit. I don't know if that's true for all of ours, but we can speak via message. I heard lots of hooting. I think should stay out of direct light, which is a problem given that tomorrow we are going to be under a lot of it. And somebody did something to your boss that disappeared. There was a mention of a lot of light, like a daylight spell or a sunburst spell or something that could suddenly dispel a being of shadows that almost killed 5-0. And it was someone who had a key into your building. And I was actually asked not to. I, said, should I report this to Coyote Communications, and was told perhaps not to for that very reason. It's someone that could get into your building to make your boss disappear. Somebody did that. Do we think that's the same person that threw an evil rock through the window?
Celeste is gonna lay her head on your shadow with one ear to the ground of the shadow and say, 5-0, are you there?
I will message again and try to act as go-between if it's possible.
Is that how message works?
I
It's
mean,
only the target. Just
between is in.
message and reply in a whisper
Mhm.
only you can hear.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was about to say I can't get it into Celeste's head, but I can, essentially reach out simultaneously and pass along things if possible.
Mhm.
I don't know if that would work, but I can try. I'm hearing a who.
Okay, and then I like rotate so that I'm looking at you, but I still have an ear on the shadow. And I look at you and I go, ask 5-0, what time did this a kill attempt happen to you? Because when I came in that morning, the doorway was already gone.
Passes that along. What time did this happen to you?
I don't know. Time is different in the tea garden. It's always 5 o'clock.
That's true.
I was the Queen of Hearts for Halloween, so this is very funny to me.
It would have had to have been between when I left and when I came back at least. And if somebody had a key and they used it on any of the doors, there should be a key log somewhere. I'm imagining it's electronic keys, yeah, not metal
it's key
keys.
cards.
Okay. Yeah.
And your key got logged when you turned off the alarm.
Yes, that's why I had to immediately start sending a message out, because they would know it was me.
All right, so someone came in with, at least at the time, legal access methods, threw a lot of light at 5-0, nearly resulting in death. And then the next night threw a necromantic geode bomb with some sort of very high level magic through the window.
That's only if the two things are connected. 5-0, is it possible that people would think you are Coyote's protector, and if they wished to target Coyote, they would have to take you out first?
I don't know. I don't think so.
because that wasn't ever the perspective of it I had. But I don't know.
So I know you said that, and Mousie's just kind of laying on the bed listening, and she has her eyes closed because she might pass out. Let's be real. 2 levels of exhaustion does that to a person. But you say got in by legal means. What if the key card was conveniently borrowed?
There has been a trend of that, hasn't there?
That would still
Wonder who could have started
identify
that.
who was the one that got borrowed from, and then that would give us a lead.
All right.
Is there a way that I can like remote log in to the work site and be able to sort of like have internal side access from here on like a computer to make it so that we would be able to do things like see if we can pull up a logging of the door for a certain day.
I mean, you know that there are that the security personnel could do that, but the security is sourced out.
Oh, so Coyote doesn't have their own internal security. They have a contracted security.
Yep.
Okay. Would the logs for the doors not be something that I would have the ability to like look for because they're like separately managed by the contracted security system?
It's a bit like at the clinic, if you have like your card, you swipe it and you see your own name logging in, but you don't know who else logged into the room.
Could Celeste use your newfound security position that you're looking to do?
Yes.
Leverage that as like a identification way of getting into you see like persuading. Try to figure out how to word it better.
If it's not,
Yeah.
if it's not persuade, sorry, please continue.
No, go ahead.
If it's not persuading, I would be happy to try and help magically divine the answer. But if it is persuasion, then
see if you can pull up the magical divined information logs.
I would like to try and magically hack the security logs.
Magically hack the system.
Yes.
I would also like to, if this might be able to give help to that, I would like to see if Malcy and Ariel might be able to feed a seed into the bots to get the bots to use the people in this scavenger hunt as a way of crowdsourcing some information, such as who all works at the security firm for the security firm contracted with Coyote and Crow. Who are people that work there? And like kind of create a little scavenger hunt thing of like creating a little bit of a like, haha, this is where, you know, that information is, or like see if we can't get a bunch of chronically online people to potentially find it for us.
I mean, you know the security form. I can just tell you.
Right, but like the details of like who was on work that night and stuff like that. A little bit more detail stuff.
Let's try and hack it first.
Okay, fine. I was trying to make it an advantaged roll by getting some additional info.
Okay. I have I love the idea. Totally on board. Tell me, how do you want to magically hack a device? I'm open.
Well, if I assume that Celeste has a device that is linked to the Coyote communication network, right? Like a laptop or a computer or a phone, something like that.
Yeah, I have a work phone too.
Yeah, and I want to go through that through Celeste's connection to because before it gets sent to the outside security, it has to be logged somewhere in the system, and I want to access that log that is then sent to the outside security link.
What is locked exactly?
Like
The key cards.
the key cards, yeah.
Okay, so because the key card reader and the laptop share the same connection, like the same Wi-Fi from time to time,
Mm-hmm.
you want to get into that laptop, log into the key card reader, which doesn't even necessarily have Wi-Fi, but uses RFID cards to read stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and you want
I'm gonna
that
keep
data.
nodding. Yes.
Okay. What do you want to roll for that?
I think
Because
it makes
I'd
sense
say
for.
that's Arcana.
I think it's Arcana too. I think Arcana makes the most sense.
So you're not using like your technological knowledge, you're using your magic.
Yes, because I don't think like my astromancy stuff manifests itself in survival and nature, but I don't think that's very helpful. I think it would either be investigation or arcana, and those are exactly the same roll for me, so it doesn't super matter which it is.
I
But
would like to give you a guidance D4 by saying, you got this. Wait, no, okay, actually, put in, it's, okay, click back, and then, yes, that file there, and then...
I will give you a bardic d6 in the inverse, which is Ariel clocking very quickly that this is an area of tech that he is not familiar with and gracefully retreating away to the other side of the room. My absence is helpful.
okay. So that's 18 plus 6 plus hang on. I need to re-roll the d4 because it accidentally rolled 3 of them. Hello? Roll a d4, please. Thank you. Someday. We're at 24 plus 7 plus I rolled 3 again. That's a 1. So 31.
Shit.
Okay.
32?
Okay.
I was going to say 24 plus 7 plus 1, 32.
Yeah.
30. You're not even in the same net. You know what?
Listen, my
Yeah.
lack of knowledge of cybersecurity is working for me in this case, so I'm not mad about it.
I know a little bit of cybersecurity-ish stuff, and it would be that like we would use my account to gain access to the whole system by using sort of like a backdoor, gain access to the root menu. From there, identify the security logs that are old now, and so they're just held on a hard drive. They're not even like currently being active. They're just recorded somewhere, and we would pull those up and then be able to like narrow it down to the window we're looking for, and then decrypt those by cross-referencing them with like employee IDs.
And also, I'm magic.
And
What
also
we're actually learning here with like the multiple like breaking 30 rolls on specifically trying to do like tasks in
Teamwork.
tandem is this is just an ode to having coworkers that you can actually work well with.
Yeah,
That's what's happened
coworkers
here.
to the rescue.
This is that sometimes coworkers will destroy your life, but if you hit weirdly the exact specific outline of support class, you're golden.
Okay, so what Evie just described would have been the way if you didn't use magic. What happens is, because you're small and Evie is a 3-meter tall fullbook, so your laptop is also a bit taller, right?
Are you gonna shove me inside the laptop? Is that what's happening?
Do I accidentally squish you into the screen when I go to point to the thing and then you're just in?
I'm not gonna give people with that kind of fetish some fantasies at this point. My idea was more tame. So,
Continue.
if you would have done this with some logic behind it, you would have done whatever Evie just said, and I'm nodding along because, like, I know a tiny bit about this was already above my head. What's happening instead is you're stepping on the laptop, jumping around on it, hitting the screen a few times. Green script comes from the top of the laptop, runs to the bottom, and you just say, I'm in.
Great. This is what we want.
Ariel nods and pretends he understood any of the things he just witnessed happen.
And then that cat video pops up. Just for good measure. Like, full-on castle hacking scene.
That's what we want. Everyone should get their own castle hacking scene.
So this was to find out who potentially, or at least under whose key card we think swiped in around the time that 5 in that like off work period when 5 would have been attempted murdered.
Yeah, looking for anything that is either identified and like once we get all the information, we don't have to cross-reference everything. I think that we would be able to, with Celeste's knowledge, she would be able to be like, all right, that's a person that belongs there. That's a person that belongs there. They were just going home. They were just going home. Like we'd be able to see people exiting and then maybe be able to see somebody coming back to get their purse because they always leave it and then they exit again. And so like we'd be able to rank some people low in terms of suspicion. But then anybody who is like not in our department, if there's a key card that signs in, be like, that signed in at a weird hour is from a different person than it should be. They sign out pretty quickly thereafter. Anything along those lines would flag to the top.
Or if Celeste notices that someone who usually doesn't stay late, or like, something
abnormal
like
behavior and things like that would flag to the top.
Okay, so do you want the good news or the bad news?
Oh, why is it always?
I want the bad news.
Yeah, you always gotta leave with the bad news, right? So the good news is more fun.
You recognize the number of the key card, it's yours. Yeah.
What's the good news? Now tell me the good news.
I feel like it was combined. I feel like we just got medium news.
No, I've been promised good news.
The good news is that you know for a fact that you have been out of the building at that time.
Someone stole your key card or replicated your key card.
Yeah, I pull my key card out. I still have my key card.
You still have your key card.
So someone replicated my key card, which means now I have to trace back to when I had contact with somebody who could have replicated my key card.
Yep.
Or it was taken from you and given back. Because you were out of the building at the time.
I'd also pitch that though we still don't know for a fact that this is connected to the giant necromantic rock thrown at us, that this is perhaps a point or two in favor of that theory, since it was someone that tried to replicate your card specifically as opposed to any other person in the building. We don't know. I mean, we don't know these things are connected, but there's a lot going on this week, I think, for us. It might be. It just might be. We also get to go on a TV show tomorrow. That's also there.
We should talk about that too.
First of all, did anyone else have any major informational revelations during the day, out of curiosity?
My boss is also missing.
Oh?
Which boss?
Oh, like my like La Rona is missing. I told Mark I would find her. So that being said,
Was
The
Lalorona
Archfey?
killed?
your boss is in a shadow. So I wondered maybe if my boss was in a shadow and if we could check our shadows.
I can message everyone's shadows very easily.
Can you
I
ask
don't know what it will
5-0
do, but
if they know anything about Lalorona?
sure. Ariel will message just 5-0. Are you acquainted with La Llorona of, I believe it's La Llorona Agencies, if I'm recalling correctly? That the firm is called. I might be wrong about that, but
Yeah, associates.
Associates, that's the one. I knew the starting letter, not the word.
Haven't had the pleasure yet.
All right, and there does not seem to be any other neighbors hanging out with you in this fine shadow of mine at the moment.
Which one of the 5 others are you talking about?
What?
The 5 other neighbors, or the 5 in my shadow, or the 5 other?
Oh, you can't see them.
Huh.
It's okay.
I am tempted to ask more, but I do not know if I think ignorance may be bliss in this moment, and I will trust the "it's okay" statement. Thank you so much, 5-0.
They're just eating your nightmares.
You know.
Oh well, if that's all.
Yeah, like.
Well, I hope they're delicious, and that makes sense as to why I've had fewer. Oh boy, I'll process that at a later time. Thank you, 5-0.
Wait, do all of us have nightmare eaters?
I don't know. I did not know that was a thing until approximately 10 seconds ago, and I. But aside from nightmare eaters, and I will just check everyone else's shadow and see if somebody responds to me from their shadows.
Well, try to
We're
check if we have
detecting evil
nightmare
and
eaters.
good. No, we're detecting evil and good. If you mention
Oh,
nightmare
yes.
eaters or whatever, if you mention that 5-0 said there were other things,
Yes.
detecting evil and good. Because I learned after yesterday. Mousy prepped new spells.
We've learned a lesson.
And the lesson was to be deeply paranoid, and it was the correct lesson.
I wonder why that's always
right,
happening with
to be
my
clear.
groups.
You have
To be
no
clear.
idea. Yeah, no, but yes, detect evil and good. So for the duration, you know if there is an aberration, celestial, elemental, fae, fiend, or undead within 30 feet of you, as well as where the creature is located.
Well, let me tell you, there is, in fact, a fae within 30 feet of you.
Yeah, other than
Hi.
this, yes, yeah.
It's me.
Yeah, we know that. I'm looking for more not at Andy generally.
Let me look up the spell. I know you just read it, but I gotta see
No,
it.
there's also a similarly about magically consecrated or desecrated lands. I'm not super worried about that. But if there happens to be like a consecrated or desecrated thing in my apartment, please.
What if the shadow is magically consecrated?
Or desecrated.
And that's why it's or desecrated shadows.
I'll say the vibes I'm getting from the shadow are not. I mean, 5-0 is great, but the mention of 5 other nightmare eaters was not ideal. But
yeah,
you find a bunch of faes, an undead, and some little sparks that are not really noticeable. Like there are a lot of sub spirits around the faewild.
Okay, but that undead. That's just coming up. Is that over near Ariel's general vicinity?
Yeah.
Okay. That's a little less unnerving.
Are there 5 of them?
Yeah. that means...
No.
No. Okay.
Just one.
Just the one.
Wait, is 5-0 undead now? What did you do to 5-0?
me?
Well, I mean, I can't blame you, maybe.
No. And then all of the Fae. I say all of. Is it just Andy or?
I mean, all of you are Fae. The people in the next room over are Fae. The people in the like above and below you are Fae.
Is it, but like out of the ordinary, are we seeing like any random twinklies that aren't necessarily connected to a physical body I am currently observing and can sensory?
Are you looking for nightmare eaters?
I mean, yeah.
You can't find any nightmare eaters.
No one's asleep.
Not, that's so true. You're so wise. That is true.
That's fair.
That would make sense.
That is fair.
But we don't think that your missing boss is in my shadow or any of our shadows, is the upshot. Probably.
I still think you should message them.
I will message all of the shadows.
Every shadows, just to be safe.
I will
Just all
message
the shadows.
It's a cantrip. I'll message every shadow in the room.
Because I'm noticing a pattern. Have there been, I've only been by email one day, but I am I work for an organization that sends 500,000 emails a day. And so that's an exaggeration, but you get my point. Have I received any emails today from my boss's boss's boss? Is the head of Dracula Health Insurance also in the shadows or in places unknown?
No, actually, he's on TV.
He's on TV.
Yeah.
Doing like what? Just like hanging?
Just like hanging.
Is he doing a hamster dance?
Is he? What?
I was about to ask.
Dracula is, in fact, not doing the hamster dance.
No.
Is he running a show on Glitz?
No, please.
No, I'm just piecing things together, I think, and I'm scared.
He's part of a game show. Like, it's a game of, like, different mythical, like, lore creature, like, known by the mortals, try to have some kind of popularity contest, like, who is the most well-known. And for that, they're, like, just adopting some mortals and dumping them in front of the fake cameras. Hey, do you know me?
Okay, so it's like
Oh, no.
Billy have you seen Billy on the Street where he used to run down the street and then be like,
Yes.
you know who this is? It's exactly like that, but with Dracula. Okay.
That's another American thing. I just thought I came up with that, but no, the American.
Look,
are
America
just
does
as
everything.
as I am.
I'm
If
sorry.
there is a
I was gonna say,
weird
to be
thing, we
clear-
have done it.
I was gonna say, also to be clear for distinction purposes, Billy on the Street is him going down the street and like going up people with a microphone, which is, a little bit kind of jarring, alarming, but like, okay, it is the streets in the public place. I do feel there is, and there is a slight vibe change when it becomes taking a human, pulling them into the Fae realm. Suddenly they're on a game show set and it's, do you know this person? And it's Dracula. Which is
Also, it's
different,
like,
yet
it's not.
also deep within their.
I mean, the thing why this show exists is that Dracula is like depicted in the book as like this dark romance fuckboy, in a lack of better words. The OG Dracula had a terrible beard. Yeah.
And may I ask, is this show that that Andy finds perhaps being run by Glitz and Glam, maybe
Absolutely.
perchance? Oh, thoughts on
What?
that?
Just this might be a dumb question, but also there are no such thing as dumb questions. What would you say Dracula's like title is? Like, like everyone's got like a little, like La Lorena's the crying woman.
The Impaler.
The Impaler, okay.
Count Dracul, the Impaler is the official title, but it's like a thing, like it's Barack Obama, but everybody just says, yeah, it's Obama.
I feel like I need to call HR.
It's still Dracul Healthcare, but everybody says Dracula. It actually, like,
Yeah.
it's a thing that you don't say Dracula in front of Dracula because he will fucking eat you.
Well, he's technically like a lord, right? Like
Yeah,
he's
count. Yeah.
count.
He,
Yeah.
he owns
So-
land in several dimensions.
Yeah. So I imagine he goes by various titles within the building. But he has like his nickname.
Yeah, I mean, like there was this one time where he had some beef with that other vampire lord who like had like this little valley in the mist and had like a similar storyline of, oh my gosh, I lost my lover, now I'm sad. They actually had a bitch fight on live TV. Dracula loves to be on TV. And they actually like had a rap battle about who's the better vampire.
I'm sure the
Also,
view
he's
counts on that were
like
great.
Count is actually voiced by Dracula. Nobody knows that. When I say Dracula loves to be on TV, I mean Dracula loves to be on TV.
Sure.
Oh, I love that so much. Oh, and it's on Glitz and Glam right now. Do we think this is connected? Do we think group thoughts? This is bad, right? Something in this.
I
It's not
think
good.
everything is connected at all times.
See, normally I would love the opportunity to go be on TV. This is ideal, except for the fact that I'm concerned about going tomorrow. Initially, I was concerned about being grilled about the borrowing that was convenient at the time that occurred. Now I'm concerned about that and being mysteriously vanished somehow. I don't know. The concerns are piling up.
To my knowledge, you're not an archfey, so that's probably working in your favor.
True. Good point. What are we going to say? And are we all going? Because I think we sort of have to, if the wish spell is correct.
Well, I did not agree to go tomorrow, but I will go for emotional support.
That is very kind. I technically never signed anything with them. I'm just saying their email reminders, and I don't think they received that message. There's not an unsubscribe button.
I was going to say, it's definitely not an email you can reply to. It's like, this email is not checked. Please do not respond. Yeah.
No.
I think I'm supposed to tell the host something. Mark mentioned the thing is done.
The thing?
Yeah, you know,
What
it's
thing?
a very generational term that people use to describe stuff and things.
Yes. Do you know what thing is done? Who is it done for? Why?
No, it seemed to have very terrifying implications that I didn't necessarily want to know.
Okay, that's reasonable enough. I can see that.
It was also prior to him informing me that La Llorona was missing. It was all in like one breath. So they might be related. And so the thing that's done might be all of this?
What happened to the geode? Is this still in the office?
No, it was gone this morning.
Was the office completely like repaired and cleaned up and put back?
You came back in the morning and people were like, there was a crew of handymen like just spamming mending at everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there's nothing in the news about the geode, really.
Just some youth delinquents throwing stuff.
Was that statement made by the city police or by Coyote Communications?
By the news, basically, like district news, and for everybody like wondering what happened this night when you heard some stuff, this and that happened.
So they're just saying it themselves. They didn't get a statement from anyone.
No.
I think that Celeste pulls that up and goes, how are they able to say something definitively false like that? Are there humans here running the news?
There are humans everywhere.
Are they in charge of the news?
Sometimes they're brought in for game shows. Do we return them after the game shows, or are they just around now forever?
The humans have infected the news. We're in trouble, you guys.
Huh. I mean, there's also the possibility that, either they don't know that that's incorrect, or that they could have been told, somebody could have pitched to them, oh, this is probably what happened.
But
And then they reported it as such.
They don't have a statement saying a source.
Yeah, they don't. I mean, they don't have to. They can say if they believe it to be true, right?
So they believe some delinquent youths just because?
If they're not,
I mean,
if they're not getting any other answers, they can go with whatever version of events seems most plausible to them.
Or if there's somebody who they know to turn, somebody who they either habitually, or in this case has enough power for them to turn to say, oh, you mysterious person that may or may not have invest an investment in things currently going on at Coyote Communications. Could you tell us what possibly happened tonight? And a strange person that may or may not have thrown a geode or used a key card says something about, oh, it surely was likely this. That happens all the time. And then they ran with it. There are ways to smooth things over, to make it sound very close to fact, if you're not willing to listen.
So far from fact, though.
I mean, there's a lot of youth delinquent videos going around right now, just in general, with our whole conveniently borrowed thing. So they're probably
somebody
just
conveniently
running
borrowed
along.
a geode.
Okay, wait, but then so how many of those are actually false?
False is a spectrum.
Yes.
Ariel nods in social media communications.
Yeah, like
there are many, many steps that you can go through before you need to outright lie. Believe me, I've run through all of them many times for
right.
many clients.
In that case, help coach me, because I need to make up some stuff for tomorrow.
Are you planning to go on and not tell the truth, or are you planning to go on and try and divert attention, or?
Yes?
Fair enough.
My advice is to tell a more interesting truth than the truth.
That's what I'm thinking.
That's what
I
would also recommend.
So I've been studying all of these old cases at Coyote Communications where in order to do my assessment test for what kind of helper I could be for purposes of coming up with ideas, I had to watch all of these old ones. And in doing that, I've realized that there's a lot of different ways you can take something and portray it. And making a more interesting story is a way to sometimes sneak something in that you don't want people paying attention to because you made a more interesting story over the top of it, so it gets to get carried along. They call that a Trojan horse. I've never seen a horse, so I don't know what that is. But
oh, they're like unicorns, but without the horn.
Oh, that's horrifying.
That's a clip.
So there are a couple of tricks I've learned, and I think that we should practice putting them to use. To include, one of the things is to create buildup. And so, like, you have somebody else start, and they kind of present a little bit, and then somebody else presents a little bit more, and then somebody else presents a little bit more, and then you reveal it. There are a lot of things that I learned watching those videos, actually.
It's like an extended crescendo. I follow.
Yeah. I don't know what that means, but yeah. So I think that we should coordinate doing that for tomorrow.
I do as well. And
yeah.
Additionally, I think we should be very cautious about outright either stating either stating something that did not happen, or primarily, I think we should answer questions with questions and try to do some sort of build-up. I don't think we should go and tell them something that's not the truth for obvious reasons. I also don't think we should go and give them a full recounting of what happened. And perhaps we should, hey, you mentioned crowdsourcing for bots in terms of getting many people in a group to do things for us. I'm not saying it'd be the best idea, but we could always start telling people, hey, there's random geodes being thrown through windows. Isn't that a fascinating story? Isn't that weird and strange and more interesting than focusing on why we all got to know each other a week before that happened?
I think that we should absolutely, like, this scavenger hunt thing has been fantastic, and we should try directing the scavenger hunt to be directed at items that are being teleported in from not local, at maybe geodes of varying size, at maybe just like information regarding necrotic energy waves suddenly appearing places, like has a new undead thing arrived. There were undead bees at that building today. The poor bees.
I'm sorry, are there normally undead bees at your place of work?
No, they're normally alive.
Okay. Delightful to know. That's terrifying. Poor bees.
Yeah, but we should absolutely use the bot's little scavenger hunt thing to get people involved in this. And the whole thing should be look through the illusions.
Are the undead bees like a thing that we know about? Like, is this something that
I just told you?
No, but I was more asking God if we knew about the
About the what?
The undead bees.
No, even though you are in the Feywild and a lot of wild shit is going on, you have never before, like, consciously heard of undead bees.
That's pretty weird.
Even more so since the real life is saturated with so much life energy, being undead here or turning anything undead here is hard.
That's why vampires are so cool and powerful.
Mm-hmm. So strange.
Also,
well, we've got
while I
options.
absolutely love what's going on here, party people, we gotta wrap it up. So I'd say these talks go way into the dead of night.
And we'll continue on Discord.
No, Mousy would kick everyone out because Mousy has 2 levels of exhaustion and is probably going to pass. Or everybody can continue to talk out, but Mousy's passing out on her bed.
Yeah, I thought we were going to basically sleep over.
I mean, sleepover works, but Mousy's out and out of the conversations because
I was going to say Mousy is leaving the group chat and going to bed.
We look over at one point and you're lying kind of with eyes open, and then we look over 30 minutes later and the blanket is like over the head.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. She'll wake up in the morning and make everyone breakfast because she'll probably get up before everyone, but
there's a question though. Did you buy toast, bro? Toast?
No, but one of my roommates owed me toast.
No. They didn't write I owe you, they wrote conveniently borrowed.
They conveniently borrowed, but borrowed things mean they get returned.
We'll see next time if the roommate bought some toast. Everybody who ever lived in a shared flat already knows the answer. And I really, really love this wonderful evening. I'm going to say goodbye to my beautiful players because I love all of you so much. And next time we're going to go into like the Shark Tank and see if you survive the show business. Well, at least it's, yeah. Okay. Am I that mean to you?
No, I think we just fuck around and find out. Is
I
really
fuck
the
around a
problem.
lot.
I find out.
Yeah.
There's no.
I
Mousy
don't
doesn't
know
fuck
which
around.
I'm
Mousy
doing.
just finds out.
I think I've been fucking around and have not yet. No, I have found out some. I've done. The seesaw was tilting.
By the way, talking about tilting seesaws, maybe the last thing for today. Ariel gets a new mail. Congratulations, your silver play button is on its way.
Ooh.
Oh, good. You know,
Which means
worst
you
comes
have
to worst.
500,000 followers.
Oh, I like that it keeps going up by zeros. You know, worst comes to worst, our panic parachute chord, I will just start singing. If this goes completely terribly, I will
That is
find the microphone and just start belting. This is my
the
backup
most
plan.
theater person response I've ever heard in my entire life. Remind me
In
later
case
to
of
tell you what
emergency
happened
calls.
at the airport this week because you like the theater people among us will appreciate.
Ooh.
We're
All right,
gonna do
sleepover.
a wonderful round while your characters are doing a wonderful sleepover. Irvi, would you do us the honor and take us out of here?
Honk shoo, me. I am Irvi. My pronouns are they, them, and I've played Mousy for you today. You can find me across the interwebs at Caesar Slot or type in Irvi Fitz. I'm pretty sure I'm the only one. I haven't actually bothered to check though. You can find me again across the internet, said what I exactly just said, but also you can find me on Pantsless Tables throughout the end of November and December as I'm running a playtest for my own game. Super stoked about that. And I feel like there is something else I'm doing, but I don't have my calendar open at the moment. So follow me on things. Yes, House of Dreams, but that's so come watch some Thirsty Sword Lesbians there. I'm dying. I'm waiting. I can't. But yeah, that's what I've got.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Next up, Jilly.
Hi, I was trying to see if I put in my application to that game or not yet. I did not yet. Hopefully it's not closed. Woohoo. Anyway. Hi, I'm Jilly. You can find me at Oh Look It's Jilly most places on the internet. And I am here on Tuesdays playing FAE Inc. And on Fridays at 6 p.m. Pacific, I am playing in Masks. It's Metalloteens and the City of Tomorrow, and shit has sort of hit the fan. We've been thrown in. I am playing Flux Tumult, who is a Nepo baby legacy superhero who is doing her best. TM. We discovered last week that she might have the power of rainbows, which is very exciting. Light is her thing. So I'm going to get to go to space. It's going to be awesome. And other things that I'm doing, you will find me talking about on the social medias. I'm doing my very best to blue sky. So come find me there while I learn. The end.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Emma, do you want to continue?
Hello, it's me. I'm Emma. I was playing Ariel, your glamour bard, who has 500,000 followers and 5 nightmare eaters in his shadow, and that's all fine. That's just what being perceived is like, honestly. I am, unlike my character, not on social medias, but you can find me in many audio dramas, including the Book of Ezekiel Bradshaw, which just finished releasing on Halloween. You should go listen to it. It's very cool and deeply terrifying. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. And last but not least, Evie?
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm Evie Story. I've been playing Celeste, your wonderful Furbolg mastermind rogue who at some point will mastermind something without it fucking up real bad. But you can find me most places at Evie Story. And this Thursday, so in 2 days, you can also find me at Nerdsmith, where I will be reprising with my previous group for Bound Together. We are playing in the Urban Shadows system, and I'm going to be Nadira, who previously was Raylan, because I got my face changed to take over someone else's identity. But then we found OG Raylan, and that created some troubles because I was supposed to be getting a extraction. But then everything went to shit and crazy cults attacked. So now I'm stuck with these people who found out that I was actually not who I said I was. And then there was a giant spaceship that showed up that made us all feel okay. So we'll see what happens on our session when we get together. And that is Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern. I think that's 6 p.m. Pacific. So it would be great for you to join us.
Thank you so much. And I the stupid person who came up with all of this stupid stuff. I am Bart, also known as the Bart with many names. You can find me by now everywhere on social media. I got bullied into social media in 2024. So that's something going on. You can also find me at House of Dreams as one of the game masters. You can find me this November, where most of my time will sink into, at Game of Tomes, which is a wonderful Twitch community writing game where you can just do some co-working, collect some words, and watch me be the bad guy and being all dramatic and theater kid and shit about it. And I've got some stuff coming up in the new year, and I also have some applications I still need to fill out. Irby. So yeah, but we all know, yeah, we are all just too stubborn to go down, but we still have to go down. Thank everybody and all for watching, and I wish you all a very, very pleasant time zone. Bye.
Take care of yourself.
Self-care is important.